You're on a factory floor in Spartanburg, South Carolina. A humanoid robot is placing a metal component into a BMW X3 chassis. Millimeter accurate. No supervisor. No second take. And if a machine can do this without a human in the loop, every factory worker, every investor, and every person who has ever bought a car has skin in this game. Because the humanoid robot race is not coming. It already happened. While the internet argues about which CEO posted the coolest demo video, the actual factories, the ones that build the cars in your driveway, already ran the pilots. They already pick sides. And the side they picked is not the one you think. So here's the promise. By the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why Atlas, the Boston Dynamics machine, is on track to replace Optimus on Tesla's own factory floor. Not in theory, using Hyundai's numbers, BMW's numbers, and Tesla's own legal filings. Let's go. First, the obvious answer. The obvious answer is that Tesla has the lead because Tesla has the brand, the money, and the factories. Elon says Optimus. Everyone nods. The obvious answer is also wrong because a humanoid robot is not a tweet. It is a product. And products are won by the boring stuff. Reliability, predictability, supplier depth. The kind of thing that doesn't trend. Watch what the factory people actually say. Hyundai Motor Group at CES 2026. They announce Atlas is being developed as a product-ready industrial robot. Not a prototype, not a vision, a product. Deployment target, their Metaplant America facility, by 2028. For real sequencing tasks on a real line. And they slipped in one more sentence, almost nobody quoted. They said the pilot testing at the Metaplant was already completed in October 2025, months before the announcement. The robot had already done the job before the headline existed. That is what a factory company sounds like when it has made up its mind. Now compare that to the Optimus story. Tesla's 2026 10K filing, the legal one, the one where lying is a crime, says the company is making preparations and investments in large-scale production of Optimus. Preparations, investments, future tense. Tesla's 2026 shareholder materials say they have fine-tuned the production-primed Optimus design. Fine-tuned, designed, not deployed. And here is the part that should stop you cold. In 2026, Tesla posted a job listing, a staff manufacturing engineer, for launch production of Optimus. The listing said the role would help ramp a production line inside Tesla factories. Ramp, future tense. They are still hiring the person who builds the line that builds the robot. Meanwhile, Atlas is already on the line. But it gets stranger, because the question isn't just who deployed first, it's who can keep deploying. And that question has a quiet, unglamorous answer. Battery swap. The Atlas product page, updated in 2026, says the robot autonomously walks to a charging station and swaps out its own battery, by itself. Then it goes back to work. You probably read that and thought, okay, cool feature. You should think, that is the entire game. Because a humanoid that has to stop is a humanoid that has to be supervised. A humanoid that needs a person to plug it in is just a very expensive intern. The whole pitch of the category, unsafe, repetitive, boring tasks done forever, collapses the second someone has to babysit the charger. Atlas swaps its own battery. Continuous operation, no babysitter. Tesla's AI and robotics page describes Optimus as a general-purpose bipedal autonomous humanoid for unsafe, repetitive, or boring tasks. That is the mission statement. That is the brand. But the mission statement is what Atlas is already shipping. And here's where the numbers get brutal. Boston Dynamics lists Atlas at 1.9 meters tall, 56 degrees of freedom, a maximum payload of 50 kilograms, 110 pounds. That is not a demo bot. That is a machine spec to lift the heavy plastic trim, the door panels, the battery modules, the things that ruin human backs. 50 kilos, by itself, while charging itself. Now hold that next to what BMW just published. BMW Group, March 2026. They announced that their Spartanburg plant launched the world's first deployment of humanoid robots in a BMW facility back in 2025 with Figure AI. The Figure O2 pilot supported production of more than 30,000 X3s over 10 months, moved more than 90,000 components, logged about 1.2 million steps, roughly 1,250 operating hours. And BMW's own takeaway? They said the pilot proved humanoid robots can safely perform precise, repetitive work, including millimeter-accurate positioning. Notice what they did not say. They did not say, and we will now scale figure across every plant. They said it proved the concept. Then they opened a second pilot, in Leipzig, with a different robot, Aeon, operational since December 2025. BMW is not picking a winner yet. BMW is running the bake-off, and Hyundai already finished theirs. So now ask the question the headlines refuse to ask. Why Atlas? Why not the flashier one, the cheaper one, the American one with the famous CEO? Boston Dynamics Chief Product and Technology Officer, Zachary Jakowski, said it plainly. He said building Atlas into a product required a strategy, automotive-style design resources, supplier depth, real deployment opportunities. Read that sentence again. Automotive-style design resources. That is not robotics language. That is car factory language. That is the language of a company that has stopped thinking like a lab and started thinking like a Tier 1 supplier. And Hyundai, the people who own Boston Dynamics, who also happen to build millions of cars, said the advantage comes from combining manufacturing data, manufacturing expertise, and Boston Dynamics R&D leadership. Manufacturing data. They have it. Tesla has it too, for cars, but Boston Dynamics has something Tesla does not, a track record. Hyundai said Spot the dog robot is operational in more than 40 countries. Stretch the box-moving robot has unloaded more than 20 million boxes globally since 2023. 20 million boxes in real warehouses. Who paid real money and kept paying? That is what reliability looks like in a spreadsheet. Optimus has not unloaded 20 million of anything. Optimus has not been deployed in 40 countries. Optimus is still being prepared for large-scale production, according to Tesla's own filing. Boston Dynamics has been shipping industrial robots that survive contact with reality. A Boston Dynamics blog about Atlas said the commercial journey to the product version started years before 2026. Not a sprint, a march. So here's the thesis. Here's the bomb. Tesla built Optimus around a worldview. The worldview is that the hard part is intelligence. Tesla's own robotics page says their approach is to leverage advanced AI for vision and planning, plus efficient inference hardware rather than treating hardware alone as the solution. That sentence is the entire bet. Tesla is saying the brains will win. The body is just a body. But the factories are saying the opposite. The factories are saying the body is the product, the reliability is the product, the battery swap is the product, the 50-kilo payload is the product, the supplier list is the product. The boring, predictable, millimeter-accurate, never calls in sick mechanical body is the product. Hyundai literally said it. They said Atlas was built for industrial applications with safety, reliability, and predictability prioritized over home use. They are not selling you a friend. They are selling you a worker. And here is the punchline that should end the argument. Tesla's own manufacturing page lists what the Fremont factory produces: Model 3, Model Y, and Tesla Optimus. They put the robot on the product list, right next to the cars. But the line is still being built. The engineer is still being hired. The design is still being fine-tuned. While Atlas, the competitor, walks to its charger by itself, swaps its own battery, and goes back to sequencing parts at a plant Hyundai already validated. Hyundai says Atlas will move beyond pilot stage into full-scale production, then expand into logistics, energy, construction, facility management. That is not a roadmap for a competitor of Optimus. That is a roadmap that eats Optimus's entire addressable market before Optimus has shipped one. Atlas won Best of CES 2026. Hyundai tied that recognition directly to readiness for real-world deployment and scale-up in manufacturing environments. Readiness, the boring word, the word that wins. So go back to that factory floor in Spartanburg, the humanoid placing a metal component into an X3, millimeter-accurate, 10 months straight. It wasn't an Optimus, it was a figure, and it proved that humanoids work. The next one in there won't be a figure either. It will be the machine that already swapped its own battery, that already finished the pilot, that already has 20 million boxes in its family tree. The race wasn't who could demo the best. The race was who could be trusted on a Tuesday afternoon in October when nobody was watching.